Picture this. You're standing on Bondi Beach, the sun's setting, and you're wondering if you'll ever afford that dream home in Sydney's million-dollar market. Or maybe you're in a Melbourne cafe, scrolling X, and you see headlines about billionaires pouring cash into Australia's markets. The question hits you like a rogue wave. Why are the world's smartest investors betting big on Australia? And should you be doing the same? Here's a stat that'll stop you mid-flat white. 65% of Australians have less than 3 months savings for emergencies. That's right. Most of us are one bad day away from financial stress. Meanwhile, the smart money, the hedge funds, the tycoons, the ones who always seem to win, are snapping up ASX shares, property, and even crypto right here in Oz. They're not just investing, they're doubling down. Why? Because Australia's a gold mine if you know where to dig. Building wealth here is like surfing at Bell's Beach. It's not about luck, it's about timing, balance, and guts. Over the next hour, I'm going to show you how to ride that wave. You'll learn 3 game-changing strategies to grow your money, from your super to side hustles, no matter if you're 20 or 70. We'll bust myths, like thinking you need a CEO's salary to get rich, and I'll reveal the one mistake costing Aussies millions every year. Stick around because it's a ripper. Whether you're a Brisbane tradie drowning in credit card debt, a Perth teacher eyeing retirement, or a Sydney freelancer dreaming of passive income, this is for you. By the end, you'll have a plan too. Start today, not next year, not after the next RBA rate hike, but today. So, grab a pen, maybe a Tim Tam, and let's dive into why the smart money's betting on Australia and how you can join them. Ready? Let's get real for a moment. Life in Australia feels like running on a treadmill that's speeding up. You're working harder, earning more, but somehow the finish line, that dream of financial freedom, keeps slipping further away. If you're in Sydney, you're staring down a median house price of $1.2 million. In Brisbane, rents are up 20% in just 3 years. And don't get me started on the cost of a flat white. It's practically a luxury item now. The Reserve Bank of Australia's cash rate sits at 4.35%, and inflation's hovering around 3.8%. That means your money's losing value faster than a Wallabies lead in a grand final. Meet Emma, a 28-year-old barista from Melbourne. She's got a HEX debt of $30,000, a credit card balance that haunts her sleep, and a dream of owning a home that feels as distant as the outback. Emma's not lazy. She works 2 jobs, saves what she can, and even skips Avo on toast. But every time she checks her bank account, it's like watching sand slip through her fingers. Sound familiar? Maybe you're not Emma, but you're a Perth dad like Liam, 42, with a mortgage that's eating half his pay. Or perhaps you're Sarah, 62, from the Gold Coast, wondering if your superannuation's enough to retire without living off 2-minute noodles. Here's the kicker. 60% of Australians don't have a financial plan. That's not a typo. 6 out of 10 of us are winging it, hoping things will magically work out. Meanwhile, the smart money, the big players like fund managers and billionaires, are making calculated moves. They're buying up ASX blue chips like BHP and Combank, snapping up investment properties in Brisbane, and even dabbling in crypto through local platforms like SwiftX. Why? Because despite the headlines about inflation and global uncertainty, Australia's economy is a rock-solid bet. The ASX 200 has delivered an average return of 7% per year over the last decade, even through pandemics and rate hikes. Our superannuation system is one of the strongest in the world, with over $3 trillion in assets. That's bigger than the GDP of most countries. But here's where it stings. Most Aussies aren't cashing in. We're stuck in a cycle of paying off debt, stressing about bills, and thinking wealth is for the bloke in the Qantas first-class lounge, not us. It's not your fault. The system's built to keep you on that treadmill. Credit card interest rates hit 20%, and the average Aussie household owes over $100,000 in debt, not counting mortgages. Add in childcare costs, petrol prices, and the weekly Coles shop. And it's no wonder we feel like we're surfing a rip current with no lifeline. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, fear. Fear of investing because you've heard horror stories about market crashes. Fear of missing out because your mate's spruiking crypto on X, but you don't trust it. Fear that you're too young, too old, or too broke to start. I get it. I've been there. But here's the truth. The smart money isn't fearless. They're strategic. They know Australia's got opportunities everywhere, from ETFs like VAS that track the ASX to super tweaks that can add hundreds of thousands to your retirement. They're not smarter than you. They just know the playbook. Take Emma again. She thought investing was for suits in Sydney's CBD, not baristas in Fitzroy. But last year, she started small, $100 a month into a micro-investing app. That's less than her weekly coffee budget. 12 months later, she's got a small nest egg and a spark of hope. Emma's story isn't unique. It's proof that anyone can start, no matter where you're at. The question is, what's holding you back? Is it debt, lack of knowledge, or maybe just the belief that wealth's not for regular Aussies? Here's the good news. You don't need to be a millionaire to join the smart money. You just need a plan, a bit of discipline, and the courage to take the first step. Over the next half hour, I'm going to share 3 strategies that can transform your financial future, whether you're starting with 50 bucks or 50 grand. But first, let me ask you this. If the world's richest investors are betting on Australia, why aren't you? Stick around because I'm about to show you how to get in the game, and the one mistake you're probably making right now that's costing you thousands. So, the smart money is pouring into Australia, and you're wondering how to get a piece of the action. Maybe you're thinking, I'm no fund manager, mate. I can't afford to buy half of Bondi. Fair enough, but here's the secret. You don't need millions to build wealth. You just need to start smart, stay consistent, and play the long game. Building wealth is like planting a eucalyptus tree. It starts small, but with time, it's a bloody giant. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 practical strategies that anyone, from a 20-year-old uni student to a 70-year-old retiree, can use to join the Smart Money Club. These are the same moves the big A players use, scaled down for the rest of us. Ready? Let's dive in. Strategy 1. Crush your debt. Like a wallaby and a scrum first up, let's tackle the elephant in the room, debt. The average Aussie household owes $100,000, not counting mortgages, and credit card interest rates are hitting 20%. That's like trying to surf with a shark on your board. If you're drowning in debt, you can't invest, save, or sleep properly. So, how do you get free? Meet the debt snowball method, and trust me, it's a game changer. Here's how it works. List all your debts, credit cards, car loans that Afterpay binge during Boxing Day sales. Start with the smallest balance, not the highest interest. Rate. Pay the minimum on everything else, but throw every spare cent at that smallest debt. Why? Because knocking out a debt fast gives you a win, and that momentum keeps you going. Once it's gone, roll that payment into the next smallest debt. Rinse and repeat. Take Liam, the Perth dad we met earlier. He had $15,000 in debt. 5 grand on a credit card, 7 grand on a car loan, and 3 grand from a personal loan. He was paying minimums, barely keeping his head above water. Then he tried the debt snowball. He focused on the 3 grand loan first, paying it off in 6 months by cutting out takeaway and picking up extra shifts. That freed up $200 a month, which he threw at the credit card. 18 months later, Liam was debt-free, except for his mortgage, and he felt like he'd just won the AFL Grand Final. Your turn. Pause the video right now and grab a pen. Write down your debts, every single one. Pick the smallest and calculate how much extra you can pay each month. Can you skip 1 coffee a week? That's 20 bucks. Sell that old surfboard on Gumtree? Another 100. Small wins add up. And here's a pro tip. Call your bank and negotiate a lower interest rate. Aussies who haggle save an average of $500 a year. What's stopping you from making that call today? Now, debt's just the start. Once you're free, or even while you're paying it down, you need to make your money work harder. That brings us to our second strategy, and it's a ripper. Strategy 2. Invest like the big dogs with ASX ETFs. The smart money loves the ASX, and for good reason. The ASX 200 has averaged 7% annual returns over the last 10 years, even through global chaos. That's better than leaving your cash in a Combank savings account earning 1%. But picking individual stocks like BHP or Telstra can feel like betting on the Melbourne Cup. One wrong move, and you're out. That's where exchange-traded funds, ETFs, come in. They're like a cheat code for investing. An ETF is a basket of stocks like the ASX 200 that you can buy with one trade. Think of it as a meat pie. You get a bit of everything without cooking it yourself. A popular one is Vanguard's VAS, which tracks the top 200 Aussie companies. It's low-cost, diversified, and perfect for beginners. The best part? You can start with as little as $100 through platforms like ComSec or Perler. Let's talk numbers. Say you're 30 and invest $200 a month in an ETF like VAS, earning 7% annually. By age 60, you'd have over $200,000, assuming you reinvest dividends. That's not pocket change. It's a deposit on a Gold Coast unit or a chunk of your super. And if you're 50, investing the same amount could give you $50,000 by 65, enough for a comfy caravan holiday or to boost your retirement. Meet Aisha, a 35-year-old freelancer from Sydney. She started investing $100 a month in VS 3 years ago, using a micro-investing app like Raise to round up her coffee purchases. Today, she's got $6,000 growing, and she's hooked. Aisha's not rich. She rents in Newtown and budgets tightly. But she's building wealth while still hitting Bondi for a surf. Here's your challenge. Open a brokerage account this week. It takes 10 minutes on ComSec or Stake. Start with $50 if that's all you've got. Not sure where to begin? Google VAS ETF and read one article. Knowledge is power, and the smart money never stops learning. Oh, and one more thing. Don't wait for the perfect time to invest. The ASX isn't a slot machine. It rewards those who show up consistently. Speaking of consistency, let's talk about the one account you're probably ignoring. Strategy 3. Supercharge your superannuation. If you're an Aussie, you've got a secret weapon. Superannuation. It's not just a retirement account. It's a tax-advantaged wealth machine. Australia's super system holds over $3 trillion. And the average 40-year-old has $150,000 in it. But here's the catch. 90% of Aussies don't actively manage their super. That's like leaving your car in neutral during a race. First, check your funds fees. The average Aussie super fund charges 1% annually. If you've got $100,000 in super, that's $1,000 a year in fees. Switch to a low-cost fund like Australian Super or Host Plus, where fees can be as low as 0.5%. That saves you $500 a year, which compounds to tens of thousands over decades. Next, consider salary sacrificing. If you're earning $60,000 a year, sacrificing $5,000 into super cuts your taxable income, saving you about $1,000 in tax. Plus, that money grows tax-free in your super. It's like getting a free kick in footy. You'd be mad not to take it. Finally, choose the right investment option. Most super funds default to a balanced portfolio, but if you're under 50, a growth option with more shares can boost returns. Data shows growth funds average 8% annually versus 6% for balanced funds. For a 30-year-old with $50,000 in super, that 2% difference could mean an extra $200,000 by retirement. Take Sarah, our 62-year-old from the Gold Coast. 5 years ago, she reviewed her super, switched to a low-fee fund, and moved to a balanced portfolio suited for her age. She also consolidated old accounts, saving $2,000 a year in fees. Today, her super's grown by $30,000, enough for an annual Bali trip without touching her savings. Your challenge: log into your super account this week. Check your fees, investment option, and whether you've got multiple accounts. Use the ATO's online tool to track lost super. Aussies have over $20 billion in unclaimed funds. What could you do with a slice of that? And here's a cliffhanger. There's one super mistake 90% of Aussies make that could cost you a fortune. I'll reveal it later, so stick around. These three strategies, crushing debt, investing in ETFs, and supercharging your super, are your ticket to joining the smart money. They're not flashy, but they work. Pause and ask yourself, which one can you start today? Maybe it's listing your debts, opening a ComSec account, or checking your super. Whatever it is, take one step. The smart money isn't waiting, and neither should you. But we're not done yet. Next, we'll talk about how to make these strategies last for decades. You've got the tools to crush debt, invest in the ASX, and supercharge your super. But here's the thing. Building wealth isn't a T20 match. It's a test cricket series. It's about playing the long game, staying disciplined, and protecting what you've built. The smart money doesn't just chase quick wins, they create systems to make wealth last. Think of your financial future like a boomerang. Throw it with purpose, and it comes back stronger. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how to sustain wealth for decades, whether you're 20 and dreaming of freedom or 70 and safeguarding your legacy. Let's build a blueprint that'll have you retiring like a king on the Gold Coast, not scraping by on tinned soup. Step 1. Plan for a ripper. Retirement might feel like it's a million years away, or maybe it's knocking on your door. Either way, superannuation is your biggest ally. The average Aussie needs $1.5 million in super for a comfortable retirement. That's enough for holidays, a decent car, and the occasional flat white without sweating the bills. But here's the reality. The average 60-year-old has just $350,000 in super. That's a gap wider than the Nullarbor Plain. So, how do you close it? First, keep optimizing your super, like we talked about earlier. If you're under 50, stick with a growth option for higher returns. 8% annually can double your balance in 10 years. If you're over 50, shift to a balanced portfolio to protect your gains like Sarah did. Second, boost contributions. If you're earning $80,000 a year, adding $2,000 annually via salary sacrifice could grow your super by $100,000 by retirement, thanks to tax savings and compounding. But super's not the whole story. Diversify your income streams for retirement. Rental properties are a classic Aussie move. Brisbane's rental yields are hitting 4%, meaning a $500,000 unit could net you $20,000 a year. If property's not your thing, build a dividend portfolio. ASX stocks like Commonwealth Bank pay dividends around 4% annually. Invest $50,000 and you're pocketing $2,000 a year, growing over time. Let's revisit Emma, our Melbourne barista. She's 28, but she's already thinking long-term. After starting her ETF investments, she set a goal: own a rental property by 40. She's saving for a deposit by cutting small expenses, like swapping Uber Eats for home-cooked barbecues, and putting 10% of her pay into a high-interest savings account with ING. By 35, she plans to buy a unit in Geelong, where prices are half Sydney's. Emma's not waiting for a windfall. She's building her future one step at a time. Your challenge: picture your ideal retirement. Is it surfing at Margaret River or cheering at the MCG? Write down one thing you want, maybe $20,000 a year in passive income, and one action to get closer, like increasing your super contributions by 1%. Do it this week. Small moves now are like seeds in the outback. They grow into something massive. Step 2. Protect your wealth. Like a Fort Knox. Rebuilding wealth is one thing, keeping it is another. The smart money knows life throws. Curveballs, market crashes, health scares, or a dodgy mate asking for a loan. Protecting your assets is like fielding in cricket. Stay sharp or you'll drop the ball. Start with an emergency fund. Aim for 3 months' expenses. If your monthly bills are $3,000, save $9,000 in a high-interest account like Ubank, earning 4%. That's your safety net. Next, insure what matters. Income protection. Insurance covers you if you can't work. It's a must for tradies like Liam or freelancers like Aisha. For retirees like Sarah, consider life insurance to leave a legacy or cover funeral costs, which average $15,000 in Australia. And don't skip estate planning. A will ensures your wealth goes where you want, not to a court battle. Aussies without wills lose millions annually to legal fees. Don't be one of them. Meet Raj, a 45-year-old small business owner from Adelaide. He runs a cafe and invested his profits in ASX shares and a rental property. But when a fire hit his business in 2023, he nearly lost everything. Luckily, Raj had business interruption insurance, which covered 6 months of lost income and an emergency fund to keep his family afloat. Today, his cafe's back and his investments are growing. Raj learned the hard way. Wealth without protection is like a Barbie without sunscreen. It'll burn. Your turn. Check your insurance this month. Do you have income protection or enough in savings? If not, start putting aside $50 a week. And if you don't have a will, book a consult with a solicitor. It costs about $500 but saves thousands. Ask yourself, what's one thing you can do to bulletproof your wealth? Step 3. Think like a millionaire, not a mug. Punter. The smart money isn't just about strategies. It's about mindset. Millionaires don't get rich by fluke. They're disciplined, patient, and always learning. In Australia, 1 in 10 households has a net worth over $1 million, and most aren't CEOs or footy stars. They're regular Aussies who live below their means, invest consistently, and avoid shiny traps like get-rich-quick schemes on X. Adopt 3 habits. First, practice conscious spending. Before buying that new ute or designer sunnies, ask, will this help me build wealth? Spend on what aligns with your goals, like education or experiences, not on keeping up with the Joneses in double. Bay. Second, automate your finances. Set up auto transfers to your ETF account or super contributions. It's like setting and forgetting a slow cooker lamb roast. It works while you sleep. Third, keep learning. Read 1 finance book a year. Try The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape, an Aussie classic, or follow ASX updates on platforms like CommSec. Back to Liam, our Perth dad. After clearing his debt, he embraced a millionaire mindset. He automated $200 a month into an ETF, stopped impulse buying tech gadgets, and started listening to finance podcasts during his commute. 5 years later, he's got $30,000 invested and a plan to retire at 60. Liam's not a millionaire yet, but he thinks like one. Your final challenge, pick 1 millionaire habit to start today. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a finance book or setting up an auto transfer of $20 a week to a savings account. Pause and write it down. What's your habit? And when will you start? The smart money bets on discipline, not luck. These steps, planning for retirement, protecting wealth, and thinking like a millionaire, are your long-term blueprint. They're not sexy, but they're solid, like a well-built ute. Stick with them, and you'll be the one the smart money envies. But before we wrap up, there's one final piece to this puzzle, a way to tie it all together and make it stick. Stay tuned. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the beaches of Bondi to the cafes of Melbourne, we've walked through the financial struggles that keep Aussies up at night. The million-dollar mortgages, the credit card bills, the fear that retirement's just a pipe dream. But we've also seen a different path, one the smart money is already taking. They're betting on Australia's rock-solid markets, its world-class super system, and its opportunities for anyone willing to show up. The question isn't whether Australia's a gold mine, it's whether you're ready to start digging. Let's take a moment to reflect. We met Emma, the Melbourne barista, who thought wealth was for suits, not her. She's now investing $1 $100 a month and saving for a rental property, proving small steps lead to big wins. Then there's Liam, the Perth dad who crushed $15,000 in debt and automated his investments, thinking like a millionaire without a mansion. Aisha, our Sydney freelancer, turned her coffee change into $6,000 in the ASX ETFs, surfing the market like a pro at Bells Beach. Sarah, the Gold Coast retiree, optimized her super and protected her wealth, ensuring her golden years are as vibrant as a Queensland sunset. And Raj, the Adelaide cafe owner, rebuilt his life by safeguarding his assets, showing us that resilience is wealth's best mate. What ties them together? They didn't wait for a lotto win or a fat inheritance. They started where they were, with $50, a super account, or just a spark of courage. They faced the same fears you might be feeling. Am I too late? Too broke? Too old? But they learned what the smart money knows. Wealth isn't about luck. It's about discipline, consistency, and treating your money like a boomerang. Throw it wisely, and it comes back tenfold. Your financial journey is like sailing the Great Barrier Reef. There'll be storms, rate hikes, market dips, or a Kohl's shop that somehow costs $200. But with the right map, you'll navigate to calmer waters. Today, we've given you that map. Crush your debt with the snowball method. Invest in ASX ETFs like VAS, supercharge your super, plan. For a ripper retirement, protect your wealth and think like a millionaire. These aren't just strategies. They're your ticket to freedom. Freedom to quit a job you hate, to take the kids to the MCG without checking your bank balance, to retire on the Sunshine Coast with a cold one in hand, watching the waves roll in. But here's the hard truth. None of this works if you don't start. The smart money isn't sitting on the sidelines, scrolling X, hoping for a sign. They're acting, buying shares, tweaking their super, building systems. You don't need their bank account to join them. You just need their mindset. So let me ask you one last time. If the world's savviest investors are betting on Australia, why aren't you? Here's your challenge, and it's a big one. Over the next 7 days, take one action from this video. Maybe it's listing your debts and picking the smallest to tackle, like Liam did. Maybe it's opening a ComSec account and investing $20 in an ETF, like Aisha. Or maybe it's logging into your super to check your fees, like Sarah. Pick one thing and do it. Not next month, not after the Boxing Day sales, this week. To make it real, grab your phone right now and set a reminder for tomorrow. Start my wealth journey. It takes 10 seconds, and it's the first step to changing your life. Now, let's make this a movement. In the comments below, tell me, what's the one step you're taking toward financial freedom? Is it cutting up a credit card, investing your first $50, or reading The Barefoot Investor? Share it, not just for me, but to inspire every Aussie watching. While you're there, hit that like button if this video sparked something in you. Subscribe and ring the bell to join thousands of others building wealth the smart way. And if you know someone who needs this, a mate, a sibling, your barista, share this video. Let's get Australia betting on itself. Your wealth isn't a destination. It's a journey, like a road trip across the outback. Every step, every choice, every dollar you invest brings you closer to the life you deserve. The smart money is already moving. The question is, are you with them? I'll see you in the comments and on the road to financial freedom. Cheers, mates.